It's fall, y'all. And that means sweater weather, falling autumn leaves, and of course, Thanksgiving. Since this holiday is about giving thanks for the past year and its harvest, I thought it would be a good idea to do a themed shiny hunt in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, I'll be going for some Pokemon that would fit the autumn theme, but I'll also be going for Pokemon that I use as my story team. Since Scarlet and Violet came out a year ago, now would be a great time to reflect on the team's accomplishments over the year. But before I get started, comment down below on what you're thankful for the past year, and while you're at it, grab some snacks for the sandwiches I'm about to make for these shiny hunts. When you think of autumn, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For me, it's the orange, red, and brown leaves falling from the trees. It's a beautiful time of year accompanied by pleasant weather and nostalgic scents. My favorite scent is probably going to be the smell of burning leaves. It sounds weird, but trust me, the smell makes me feel like cozying up in a cabin with my family and lounge around all day. With all this talk about trees and leaves, the first Pokemon I shiny hunted for was Sudowoodo. This shiny is perfect for the theme because its fake leaf pom-pom thingies turn red. Of course, the best place to find Sudowoodo is going to be on Socarrat Trail. Catch a bunch of these and you could set up a fake autumn forest like the trail. Well, I'd love to catch more, but I was only able to find this one for the sandwich. Another Pokemon that fits the theme perfectly is the Autumn Form Deerling. As the season Pokemon, it literally has an autumn form to match the current season. So of course, I was going to catch a shiny Deerling. After failing to make a grass type sandwich, I finally got one prepared and ran around West Province Area 2 and 3 in search of a Deerling. Where I live, there's quite a bit of deer in the area, so I was hoping I would have some sort of hometown advantage and find a shiny Deerling fairly quick. Well, my hometown advantage came through and blessed me with a shiny Deerling in a couple of minutes, only for Arceus to punish me because I forgot to save before the encounter. I did learn my lesson and managed to find another one after making another sandwich, so thanks for reminding me to be a little more cautious around some Pokemon wanting to knock themselves out. After that Deerling, I was a little salty that I botched up the first encounter, but at least it gave me a great transition to introduce a Pokemon I use on my story playthrough. I don't think I have enough salt to match Nacli's level of salt, but I could easily find it on the internet somewhere. When I first saw Nacli, I thought it was pretty weird, but loved its blockiness and name. I caught one early on my playthrough, and it's been a great asset to the team throughout my journey. It's pretty tanky and came in clutch many times after it learned Salt Cure. To honor my good friend, I went to the place where I found Nacli, ate a rock type sandwich, and happened to find a shiny Nacli fairly quickly. I needed to find another one for the shiny living dex, so I went to North Province Area 1 to find a Nacli stack as a change of pace. But I found another shiny Nacli instead. Either one works, so I'm okay with that. Thanks, Nacli. The next Pokemon I wanted to shiny hunt for was Charcadet. When I saw Ceruledge and Armarouge, I was enamored by how cool they looked, so I just had to have one on my team. At some point along the journey, my little Charcadet grew up to be an Armarouge after I asked my wife where to find the auspicious armor to evolve my little guy. Armarouge was not only cool, but also helped land final blows in lots of battles. Before I took a turn down memory lane, I chowed down on a fire type sandwich and headed straight to where I first met my Charcadet. Along that trip, I found this oddly colored Fletchinder right before reaching my destination. Welcome to the family, Fletchinder. Once I arrived, I sat up in my chair and started making eye contact with everything in sight. Charcadet's shiny isn't that great, with only the eyes being blue as its shiny color.
Hey,
it took a while, but
look at that.
eventually I found a blue-eyed Charcadet.
Ooh.
Thanks, Charcadet. All this shiny hunting is making me a bit hungry. It also doesn't help that I look forward to Thanksgiving dinner every time autumn comes around. Like most families, my family does traditional Thanksgiving dinners. Staples include turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, rolls, and lots of other food. Speaking of rolls, the next Pokemon I wanted to hunt for is Fido. This doughy goodness is the perfect companion to help cook those rolls. Not only that, but I also had one on my team too. It was a great addition to the team, especially after I let it cook and evolve. I'm not normally one to help cook on Thanksgiving since I'm still considered one of the kids. I guess my time will come as I grow older, but until then, I'll continue to grab my keys, run across this shiny Klefki, and drive to both my grandparents' house to enjoy spending time with my family and my wife's family. Oh, and run into the shiny Fido while I'm at it too. Thanks, Fido. As everyone gathers around to celebrate Thanksgiving, there's probably a baby having their first Thanksgiving with the family. Everyone is always excited to see the little one all dressed up with either a toy or a rattle in hand. Probably better that it's a toy or a rattle, unlike Tinkatink's hammer. As a baby looking Pokemon, I thought Tinkatink looked cute. I was also curious about what it'll evolve into, so I kept it on my team. I loved it when Tinkatink evolved into Tinkatuff and then into Tinkaton, especially seeing that hammer get bigger and bigger. Tinkaton was an absolute tank in many battles too. I don't know how I would have won some battles without it. Think about watching Tinkatink grow into a Tinkaton. Reminds me of watching my little cousins growing up from being babies to the preteens they are now. I'd always be at the kids' table watching over them, and you know what? I'm still at the kids' table watching over them, even though I'm a full-grown adult. I don't think I'll ever graduate to the adult table, but that's okay. If you like being at the kids' table more than the adult table, hit that like button. It's where the cool kids sit at anyway. Back to the shiny hunt, it didn't take too long for me to find a shiny Tinkatink with its copper hammer. Thanks, Tinkatink. You know what goes great at every Thanksgiving dinner? The pie. I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for pecan pie. Apple pies are good too. You know what? Pies are great in general. Speaking of apple pie, Applin is another perfect candidate for this video's theme. I originally wanted to hunt for Appleton, but there really isn't a way to shiny hunt unless there was a mass outbreak. It didn't help that I couldn't find any for this video, so Applin it is. Initially, I wasn't looking forward to shiny hunting Applin and Paldea because it was pretty hard to spot them in trees, but thankfully Kitsukami had apple orchards to make things easy. Even so, it's a bit tough differentiating them from normal apples, but eventually I was able to spot a green Applin amongst the red apples. I really could go for an apple pie right about now. There is another Pokemon I wanted to shiny hunt for to give my gratitude to for being another essential member of my team, and that's Wattrel. At first, I wasn't too big on the bird, but when I saw its name, I knew it was destined for greatness. Of course, I caught one and added it to the team during my journey. I think it might have been the last one added to the team, so it didn't have enough time spent with me and everyone. But it did contribute just as much, being one of my fastest Pokemon. For some reason, looking for a shiny Wattrel took some time. I thought I might have missed it, but after the third electric type sandwich, I managed to find one in the flock. Thanks, Wattrel. Before I start shiny hunting the last Pokemon, I just want to say thanks to everyone that's watched my videos. And I also want to express how grateful I am to everyone that also interacted as well, whether it be a like, dislike, comment, subscription, or anything really. It's been a fun journey for this channel in the past year, and I look forward to what's in store for the next year. Anyway, this next Pokemon, I think, fits in not just Thanksgiving, but also other holidays too. Tandemaus may be a couple Pokemon, but it evolves into Mousehold, the family Pokemon. When it comes to Thanksgiving, we all usually visit our families. Sometimes we visit our friends instead as a Friendsgiving. Whichever one you do, you'll be surrounded by people you love. For Tandemaus, I wasn't looking forward to this hunt since they're really small and the shiny variant is barely noticeable. But thanks to this nifty new feature, it makes things a little easier. I did spot a full odds shiny Lotad after I made a normal type sandwich, so welcome to the family, Lotad. Surprisingly, the hunt wasn't so bad, and I was able to find a shiny Tandemaus fairly quickly. Maybe I can combine my Tandemaus with my wife's to make a Mousehold. That's how it works, right? You might be wondering why I'm not shiny hunting for my first partner Pokemon. Well, Quaxly is the best out of the three, and I would love to do a hunt for it, but I really don't like to do the Masuda method at all. You really are the best, Quaxly, and I'm grateful that I chose you. You know what I'm also grateful for is you all watching this video and listening to me ramble. Anyway, happy holidays and hope to see you soon.